Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to help you master Kota in LMU in the wonderful BMW M4 GT3 in the Valentino Rossi livery. And my name is Gregor Schill. I'm a professional test driver and coach for the Coach Academy, as also an esports driver for the PS Plus competition racing team. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So, before we of course start our lap, we need to first think about how we can optimize our exit from the previous lap to gain a couple of hundreds on our flying lap, and we do that on Kota by staying a bit longer here on the outside, turn in slightly later, and then we can put the power down really aggressively and open the steering wheel. Now on the flying lap, what we do is, first of all, for the entry we want to maximize the space we have available as much as we can, right? So we go here onto the right side. Be careful with the white line, because you don't want to cross it with the inside tires, as this will be a track limit. So just like that is the maximum. And then here on the second Rolex board, that's how we start to brake. We brake initially in a straight line and then flick the car slightly towards the inside. And now we are patient. Late turn in. So we arrive essentially in that position here at the apex. You see, we need to drive this late apex because the corner is not really opening up, and that's why we can't use an early apex. Don't clip the orange anti-cut here. Open the steering, run wide, and you're done with turn 1. This right-hander is easily flat out, nothing really to worry about. And now the quick sectioning starts. So the first part here is easily flat out, and what you can do here is, if I quickly reverse, you see those anti-cuts here, they're a bit more flat than like in turn 1, and you can use them here. And it's a really nice indicator if you got your line right. So what you try to do is essentially try to clip here the first part. If you've done that, you know you drive the right line. Here you can tape the brake slightly, again over this sausage, and then same part here, just slightly onto the brake, cut it, and then back onto the power. So you basically essentially through this 1, 2, 3 corners, you try to drive the straightest line possible. And when you arrive here, then you drive a double apex. So you first overshoot this one slightly, then you tap the brake really gently to get the front end hooked into the inside. Then you cut back here over the inside, run slightly wide, back to the right side, so you open up the second part here again, and then drive over the anti-cut again. Then you know you drive on the right line. Get the car into the middle of the road, brake just before here, where the white curb starts again on the inside. So you see here, just before there, we start to brake. So like here. Then we bring the car over again to the inside, and then it's important to stay really tight. So you can open up here now the exit, drive over the curb, and maximize the speed through this exit of this section. I know this is literally the hardest part around this track, so to help you guys master that one, we will have again a look at this section in Delta. So back in Delta here, we just mark the area I want to look at, and now we go through it together. So you see we arrive here, a lot of speed, 210 kph. Just a lift here slightly onto the brakes, keep it tight. Again, slight tap on the brakes, and then again really hard on the power. Then we have this coasting phase, where we just are patient. You know, that was the first apex of the two. So we get into the middle of the road, so we open slightly up the next part. You see a small tap on the brakes to get the front end loaded and get into the corner. On the power, as we have done with the rotation, manage the throttle to essentially position the car in the way you want it to, so we don't go fully on the throttle, you see, because otherwise you would understeer. So we need to go out of the throttle again to have it in the perfect position for the next corner. So you see, so we are here a bit more onto the right side. Then we start to brake really softly, because we don't need to slow down the car much. It's again more about loading the axle to essentially have some more front end bite. And then we hit the apex here on the power, but as you see, we don't need to open up now the next right-hander as much as the other corners. Why is that? Because we will drive anyway a quite tight line, so we're just in the middle of the road where we start to brake here. So again, not that hard, only 40-50%. trail brake into the apex. Patience, patience, stay tight, tight, tight. We wait and wait and wait, and then when we can open up the steering, that's how you floor the car. Small lift here over the curb to help the car go over it, and then bam, back on full throttle, and that's the section done. Let's jump now back into LMU. Arrive back here. For this special hairpin, we try to maximize the track again by positioning the car as much as we can on the right side here. Be careful again with the track limit, just white line. And then we use the second modal sign here, or the white line on the next to it, which is on the same level as the braking marker. So we brake here. It's about really long in a straight line, late apex, because the hairpin is closing even more up on the exit. So we don't want to turn in here at all early. So a really late apex, really late turn in. Cut as much as the track limit allows you to. Then aggressively on the power, maximize track on the exit. Now we have a bit of a break, so we can just take a breath, reset, and watch out now for our next braking marker in this hard braking zone. As we pass this Michelin sign, we know we need to get ready for braking, and after we pass the small one here, that's our braking reference point. So just after that we start to brake really hard. Again, maximize the track as you see here. Be careful with the white line. Bit of an earlier turn in here because you can cut a lot on the inside here. So cut as much as the car and track limit allows you to. Maximize the track on the exit. And now don't basically be lazy. You need to bring the car really quick over to the left side here, and you brake essentially here at the white line. That's your reference point. Here, when you drive into the apex, don't take the orange sausage because it's a bit bigger than the other parts of the track, so only the red and white curb. Maximize the track here, but what I would recommend you, of course you want to drive a bit of a tighter line here to travel less distance, but still when you, let me quickly position the car again here, like that. When you arrive here, maximizing the track means you open up the steering as much as you can, as quick as you can. You fight of course the oversteer, but you want to keep the car here on the tight line. And then here, brake when the rubber starts and really open up the corner a lot, so you can really have a nice exit cut here on the inside and maximize the track on the exit. For this double or triple right-hander actually, you want to maximize the track here on the left side, so you can open up it a lot. Then you get here tighter, 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 wait, 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 lift, maybe even a small tap onto the brakes, and then back on full throttle, try to keep it tight. And now important, don't run too wide here. You want to bring the car over here to the right side. Brake just about 10 meters before the Avis sign, or if it's destroyed, just 10 meters before the white line, which is on the same level there. Really important, don't brake too hard because you don't really need to slow the car down here a lot. The most important part here is really just a bit of slowing down and then having this front end load up with the brake to get the front end into the corner. When you've done that correctly, you will be able to cut here a lot on the inside, and then you can be also aggressive on the power and maximize the track here on the exit. As those four corners are so combined with each other, let's have a look at them again in Delta. Here, so we start here in this long double left-hander where you see what I meant. Then we want to really maximize the track here on the entry because the corner gets so tight. We need to do that here so we can nicely open up here the exit and be confident on the power. Then for the triple left-hander, we maximize the road as much as we can here on the left side, drive with full throttle into the corner, then off the throttle slightly onto the brakes to get a bit of less speed and the front end hooked to the inside. After that we can go instantly back onto the power, fight a bit of oversteer sometimes, so that's why we had the lift here. But then really crucially, try to keep it as tight as you can, so you have enough time here on the exit to bring the car over to the right side, and then brake really gently. Here you see 84% maximum, and not for a long time, because you go out of the brakes quite quickly. Then you're patiently waiting to arrive at the apex, and then bam, you floor the car and you're done with that section. Now, last but not least, last corner. How do we drive here? Let me quickly reverse it. So you arrive to this quick left-hander with a lot of speed here. And then you see here the Avis sign, and just behind the Avis sign you see this tarmac stripe, and that's your reference. So just before there you start to brake really hard actually initially, and then you trail off into the apex. So when you arrive here on the inside, you can floor the car, open the steering, and then you're done essentially with the lap. I hope you guys enjoyed the lap guide. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them into the comment section. If you want to compare your own lap against the same one I used here, make sure to check Delta out. If you want to see how a quick hot lap looks around this track in the BMW M4 LMU GT3, make sure to watch the video until the end. There you'll see my teammate Alan Tutzik drive this car at the absolute limit here. But other than that, I can only say thanks for tuning in, and I see you in the next lap guide. Bye bye.